Good Tuesday morning, everyone. Monica Corrado here. Good to be back. Missed you last week. Anyway, Monica Corrado, simplybeingwell.com, The Gap Chef. Thought I'd talk today a little bit about kefir, otherwise known as kefir, or kafir, or kuffer. No, maybe not that. Kefir, kefir, kefir. There's all sorts of ways that we're saying it, but it's all about K-E-F-I-R. Hello, Tara. Hello, Jody. Hello, everyone. Good to have you. Good to see you. Yes. Okay, so today I thought I'd talk about kefir. A couple things. Welcome to all our new members. We have several new members. I can't say hello to everyone, but grasshopper. I can't say hello to everyone, but do know that you're all welcome. We're happy to have you with us on the Ask the Gap Chef page. Please do tag me if you want me to see a post, because often I won't see them for days because of algorithms, which is cuckoo. I do appreciate everyone that goes ahead and tags me for a post. If you see that I haven't been tagged, thank you. Again, there are featured posts where I have put specific things for this group. Take a look at them. There is a GAPS diet chart there, free for download. Looks like this. There is a coupon for my book, 15% off. There is an article on the difference between cabbage tonic and beet kvass, which I think will be helpful. I hope it's helpful. There's an article that I wrote on the top reasons why your meat stock won't gel. So hopefully that's helpful too. Please do take a look at the featured posts, everyone. Please do search the group, because so many people have shared their knowledge and their wisdom and their experience over the past year and a half now or more. So do search to see if someone has answered your question before posting a question. We love your questions, but really to tap into the wisdom of the group. Also, I really suggest that everyone go to gaps.me, which is Dr. Natasha's website, gaps.me. FAQs, that is the official website for GAPS. So before you go looking at anybody else, including me, go to Dr. Natasha. That's my not humble suggestion. Alrighty then. So I want to welcome everyone. I'm going to say hello. And as always, I will teach a little bit today. If there are things you'd like me to teach about, please throw that on the page and tag me. And we'll see when we can get to those things. All right, let's see. I said hello to Tara. Woohoo, Jody. Woohoo, Vicky. Hello, Vicky. Hello, 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 Joanna. How are you doing out there? Hi, Ashley and Hamda and Idil and Leonie and Kathleen and Dawn. Dawn, my favorite place, one of my favorite places on the planet, good old Maryland. All right, so let's get started on kefir. Hello from New Jersey, Kathleen. Kathleen Captoni Stevens. I grew up in New Jersey, 7A. Hi, Mia. Good to have you with us. Hope your little fellow is doing great. All right. So let's talk about kefir. Kefir. I actually brought some for show and tell today. Can you imagine? Kefir. I'm talking about milk kefir. So dairy. I'm not going to talk about water kefir today, but we'll talk about milk kefir. I know we're supposed to say kefir, but I say kefir because everybody that works with me says kefir, so I fall into kefir. So milk kefir, or we should say dairy kefir. As all of you know, because I've said it before, for those of you who've been watching for a while, high protein dairy, meaning milk or things made from milk, will tend to constipate. High fat dairy, meaning cream, will tend to help grease the bowels, get things moving. So you can make kefir from cream. You can make kefir from milk. As I said, just said, if you make it from cream, you make kefir cream. And that will be easier, should be easier on the body because it's very high fat. You can also make it from milk, but that can be challenging to your system because it's high protein, and so therefore it could constipate. However, start wherever you can with milk or cream. Also, you can make kefir from pasteurized milk or cream or raw milk or cream. We know, pardon me, I hope we know that raw, fresh milk is always nutritionally superior to anything that's pasteurized. Pasteurization does so many things, but it really renders the milk sterile. It destroys enzymes. It, as I said, by rendering it sterile, it also gets rid of pathogens that may be there, but it gets rid of all of the beneficial bacteria. So many people who are, quote unquote, dairy sensitive, dairy intolerant, really do very well when they make the switch to real milk, which is raw milk. Again, you can make your kefir from cream or from milk. It can be from any mammal. It can be from cow, which is what most people do. However, we do know from Dr. Natasha that if you have any concerns about cow dairy, to go ahead and to use goat dairy, closest to human milk, goat dairy, goat milk. We also know that you can use buffalo milk, camel milk, sheep milk, donkey milk. We even have people using human milk when they are nursing their children, taking it and making it into kefir. So you're welcome to use, again, any of the mammal milks. You can use any of the mammal cream. You will know that there are several species of mammals where it's very hard to separate the cream, specifically goat. I don't know that you can get goat cream unless you have your own goats. So that's always an interesting thing. Again, how do we make kefir? Well, I thought I'd bring some props for you. So you make kefir usually one of 3 ways, but in order to get it started, it's one of 2 ways. 1 with grains, and 2 with a starter packet. So grains, I brought this down so you could see it. Yes, it's an open pack. And I know this is going to be backwards for you. I'm sorry because I'm on my phone. But this is Milk Kefir Starter Grains. It's from Cultures for Health. Excellent, excellent people. Great. You can get it online. And they will walk you through how to rehydrate these beautiful milk kefir grains. In the bag, instructions for activating and maintaining grains. Okay? So, if you get these, okay, then, meaning you buy them from a packet that's dehydrated, you will need to start them in pasteurized milk. But then you can move them to raw. Hooray! Which is the best. You can also get something that looks like this. Another prop that says kefir. It's Yo Gourmet, and it's called a starter packet. This is literally just dehydrated kefir. This is not the same as this. These two are 2 different things. 1, 2. They're 2 different things, 2 different ways to start your own kefir. One is to rehydrate grains, or, of course, you could get them from some wonderful person who has extra. because the grains will continue to multiply. Every time you make kefir, you will have more grains and more grains and more grains. And so you can share them with your friends. You can eat them. Be careful of die-off. You can give them to your dogs. Ooh, again, be careful of die-off. Just a little bit, a wee bit, wee bit. You can blend them up in your GAPS milkshakes, etc., etc. You can compost them. Remember, kefir grains are a symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast. They are live microbes. They are live microbes. So you can start with either grains or a starter packet. And again, the grains or the packet, you can get both from Cultures for Health or from another group. I just picked up Your Gourmet because it happened to be in my grocery store, and I love to have props to show you things. Yay. So I thought I'd bring my own kefir. Ooh, look at this. This is a pint jar. This is the way I've had it hanging out. You can see the rim. This is raw milk, 1 pint of raw milk. Dawn says, give the grains to chickens. Yes, absolutely. Chickens will love it. This is a coffee filter I happen to have. I use this in my props for teaching. So what will the coffee filter do? It will allow the kefir, the yeast, to have oxygen, right? We know that the yeast love oxygen. They are aerobic. They like oxygen. All right, so here we go. I'm going to show you. So I'm just going to take this off. This is the ring, yeah, that I put this. This could also, what else could you use? You could use cheesecloth, several layers. You could use a cloth napkin. You could use a piece of t-shirt an old t-shirt that you've cut up. You could use old pantyhose if anybody wears them anymore. That's kind of a joke, but kind of not, that you just cut up. It's great for letting oxygen in and keeping, you know, any kind of debris or whatever, dog hair, etc., out of your kefir as it sits on the counter. So any of those things are great. So I'm just going to take this off. Yes, so that's my little, yeah, I was stirring it around a little bit like this so you could see it got wet. Oh, well. All right, so what have I got? Let's take a look, shall we? So, plastic spoon. You will never hear me talking about using plastic anywhere else except with kefir. Why? Because the grains do not like metal. Now, that being said, you can, Dr. Natasha says it, and so does Cultures for Health, you can use a fine mesh strainer made of stainless steel if you want to, because the grains are only going to be in it for a very short period of time, like seconds, if you need to. Better to get a plastic one. I know, I never say plastic except now. So I like to use a wooden spoon or my little plastic spoon. This is a tablespoon. It just works well for me because it's long, it's thin, it works. It's going to go into this little jar. All right, so again, I don't use plastic in my kitchen except for this little plastic spoon for the grains. All right, let's do it. Ready? So I'm going to stir this up. Stir, stir, stir. It is nice and thick. God, it's gorgeous. I can't wait to drink it. All right. And I just thought, so I just want to show you what I do. I don't like to use a strainer because if I use a strainer that's a fine mesh strainer to get my grains out, that means my kefir is thin, and I like my kefir thick. And I don't want to bother waiting for all of the kefir to get through this fine mesh strainer, and then, oh yeah, it's just too much of a pain for me. It takes too much time, and it doesn't work well. Somebody is really, I love all these hearts. So, fabulous. So what I do is I just make my kefir in a jar. This is a pint again, right? It's just a pint. It's 16 ounces. I'm looking for whether or not 250, 500. I don't know how many mLs it is. Somebody who's doing the mLs, you could put that down in there for me, if you would. And I literally just fish out the grains. I fish out the grains, I'm going to show you, and then I put it in the jar, and then I start the next batch, and I start it on my counter. I don't bother with using a strainer. It's too much of a problem. They don't like the strainer anyway. I don't want to clean it, and I like my kefir nice and thick. I have never had a batch of kefir go through a fine mesh strainer with ease, and so I just don't do it. All right, so let's get these fabulous little grains out of here, shall we? Actually, they're quite large. I'm going to get them and show you. All right, so here we go. Here they are. Aren't they beautiful? Yes, they are. Gorgeous. All right, that's my New Jersey, New York coming up. Gorgeous. And then I put them in here. You can see how big they are. That's a big one. It's probably bigger than a quarter. All right, so I just do that over and over again. I fish around, I take them out, I put them in the jar. There's the second one, right? I fish around. Ooh, look at those. Looks like they really liked my raw milk. I take them out, I put them in the jar. We could be here a while. Anyway, this is what I do. I'll do it a little faster now that you've seen me do it. And I fish them out, I put them in the jar, and I have to tell you that I was a little bit heavy on the grains. Why? I don't know. Because I like to have my kefir move faster. So there's this thing about leave the kefir on the counter for 24 hours to make sure the lactose is pre-digested. However, if you use more grains, you don't have to leave it that long. Why? Because more grains, the volume of grains are digesting for you the lactose faster, right? So that's just another way for you to use your grains, use more grains than, let me put it this way. You need at least 2 tablespoons, 2 good tablespoons of kefir grains per quart. I probably put 2 tablespoons of kefir grains in 1 pint. So that's in half the volume of milk. But it gets nice and thick and it's ready faster. Now, we're supposed to keep this out at room temperature. That's 68 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, one of you fabulous European people like Susan, maybe you could tell me what 68 to 72 degrees is in Celsius. Somehow I think it's about 20, but I could be totally wrong. And I don't want to be misspeaking for all of you all fine people. Yeah, I'm still fishing. I'll show you in a minute. I'm almost done. And oh boy, I can't wait to have my kefir. All right, so one more time with feeling. You can make kefir from cream or from milk, mammal. You can make kefir from raw or pasteurized. Pasteurized will always be more beneficial, more nutritious, more nutrient dense for you, etc., etc. We always will say use raw for many reasons. If you want to learn more, I've written all about that in my book, The Complete Cooking Techniques for the GAPS Diet, in the Culturing Dairy section, all about cows, right? A1, A2, Jerseys, Guernseys, all sorts of things. And which ones are better, etc. What's the best milk to buy? It's all in there. All right, so pretty much you can see, yes, I used a lot of kefir grains. Hopefully you can see them. Oh, look, you can't see them. That's pretty good, isn't it? They're lovely. They're robust. They're happy. They're wonderful. There's a little bit of milk down there. Let's see if I can get rid of it. Mostly it's grains, though, folks. All right. I'm still here. I'm just down here. All right, so now you can see a little bit better how many are in there. Yep. And then we have this fabulous. Here's my kefir. Is it messy? Yes. Is the jar messy? Yes. Do I care? No. How's that for thickness? Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. Here, I'll come up here. Thickness, thickness, thickness. Yeah, it's pretty thick. I love it. All right. So that was fun. Hopefully it was fun for you. Don't worry, I'll get my new grains, some beautiful milk or cream, just when we're done. That'll be fabulous. What else? Oh, here's the biggest thing. Two things I want to give you. One, you don't have to heat the milk or kefir, the milk or cream to make kefir. No heating required, whether it's pasteurized or raw. Now that's new. According to Dr. Natasha Blue Book, we used to heat always pasteurized milk or cream. Why? Because if milk or cream has been pasteurized, all of the good guys have been killed, and it's possible that pathogens could have started growing because of the pasteurization. Between the time it was pasteurized, and everyone was killed, all the good bacteria, the beneficial bacteria and yeast were killed during pasteurization. There is a possibility that pathogens could grow because the protective beneficial bacteria were wiped out by pasteurization. And so it used to be that we would, Dr. Natasha and me, and I don't know who else, but the two of us would suggest that you heat the pasteurized milk or cream, heat it up before you make it into kefir. However, Dr. Natasha now believes that kefir strains are strong enough to deal with any pathogens that might have grown. How cool is that? This is great. We're so excited because this makes kefir so easy to make on your counter. Easy peasy, easy peasy, easy peasy. There's no reason not to do it. Okay, that's the first big gem for today. I hope you got it, that we do not have to heat pasteurized milk or cream prior to making kefir, and we never had to heat raw milk or cream prior to making kefir. Okay, there's only one exception to that rule, and that is you have to follow the directions to reconstitute these dried up grains. And if they say heat the milk for the first time to get them activated, listen to the directions so you get some robust grains. Okay, everyone? All right. Next big gem. Ready? Hold on to your seats. Kefir is one of the most health-giving beverages, one of the most health-giving cultured dairy products. Maybe it is the number one. Why? Because of the combination of bacteria and yeast. When you have bacteria and yeast, and you drink this every day, and you're an adult and maybe you're drinking a pint a day, that's 2 cups of kefir a day with no problem, no die-off, no problem, you will keep yourself so healthy. Your body will have what it needs to fight any kind of pathogen that would come your way. And I do have links in the featured posts, I think, on kefir and all the PubMed studies against viruses. And you all know what I'm talking about. Okay? Drink your kefir. Stay well. Yeah. Now, 2 other quick points. 1, do not start by drinking 2 cups of kefir a day, or you will be vomiting, and you will be constipated, and you'll be really unhappy with me and with GAPS, and you'll say this diet is horrible. You'll go through massive die-off, you'll feel terrible, etc. So start with, some people need to start with a half a teaspoon. Some people need to start with a drop. Some people can start with a tablespoon. But when you make your own homemade kefir, it will be incredibly robust. It will be very strong with active live microbes, the good ones, beneficial yeast, beneficial bacteria, and it can send you into a massive die-off. So just proceed with mindfulness, little bit at a time. This is not a race. It is just a slow, gradual, right, incorporation of kefir. Start where you can. If it's a drop, it's perfect. If it's a tablespoon, it's perfect. If it's a teaspoon, it's perfect. There's no race here. We want to really be mindful of the body and what it tells you about how much the body can handle, right? All right, last point, and then I'll take questions, etc. When you're making kefir cream, that means you're taking raw cream or you're taking heavy cream, that's pasteurized, and you're going to make kefir out of it. Dr. Natasha suggests that you only use starter packets of dehydrated kefir, or you could also use previous batch. For example, I could use this, which is now beautiful kefir. It's milk kefir as my starter for my kefir cream. Or I could use a starter packet for my kefir cream. She suggests that you do not use grains, these guys, right? These fabulous little guys who are plumping all over the place. You do not use grains for cream because they're hard to get out, I think. They may also get too much fat over them and not be able to multiply enough. But I have had people use grains for their cream, kefir cream. You just have to rinse them between batches. And please do not use chlorinated water, right? We need nice, beautiful distilled water or spring water, some other water that's not going to kill your sweet little microbes. Good? All right, well, that was a lot for just a little bit. Let's take some questions. I hope it was helpful. All right, Mia has something for us. During the detox, we had passed what we believe to be a parasite yesterday with white rice grain eggs. Yes! Go, Mia, for your little boy. Very happy. That's great. Susan says, good evening, here anyway in the UK. I know, just getting over losing our queen, but hopeful and on gaps, so all good. Yeah, well, blessings to the whole world. She was quite something, and the passing of an incredible lady. Blessings to all. Okay, Faria's here. Victorious Valerie is here. Woohoo! Kathleen is here. Charmaine is here. Caroline is here. Hello, Caroline. Victoria is here. Victoria, it's been a while. Josephine, Carol. Hello, Carol. Joanna, yes. Dawn, yes. Susan, Bria Lynn. Maybe Brea Lynn, but I think it's Bria Lynn. All right, let's find out what's coming in here. Welcome, everyone. Okay, Josephine says, did you say for how long or short you let your little jar with kefir stay on the counter, depending on how much milk and grains, of course? Yes, there is an easy way to figure this all out. It's all in my book very clearly, and it will be coming in my Culturing Dairy class, which I will have out before the end of the year. Praise God, please. By the end of October, I do pray. So in here, that's my book. I've got so many ways to make kefir, and it tells you how many. So I have, look at this. Oh, yeah. Page 102 to 103. Making kefir from cream. Making kefir with grains with a starter packet. Making kefir from cream with a previous batch. Making kefir from milk with grains. Making kefir from milk with a starter packet. Making kefir from milk with a previous batch. So no one has any excuse about I don't know how to do it. It's all in here, and it's all, well, it's in this part, the section. Look at that beautiful yogurt. Anyway, for what I did, I literally just took a pint of raw milk. I took about 2 tablespoons is what I'm looking at in here. That's about right. 2 heaping tablespoons of kefir grains in a pint of milk, raw milk. I covered it with this. Well, first I stirred it up with a wooden spoon. I put this on top. This is just a coffee filter, folks, that I opened up, right? Opened it up, made a little hat on the jar, put the ring on like this, and then I let it sit. Geez, when did I put it up? I probably put it up about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and I took it down just now for you, so that's 12. So 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's 20 hours. Yeah, and it was looking good to me. Now, how else could you know that it was done, folks? You could know that it was done if you start seeing things breaking, like you start seeing whey on the bottom of the jar, which you don't see here. But if you started to see whey on the bottom like a liquid, then quick, get it into the refrigerator immediately. You have, I mean, if you catch it right away, it's good. If it goes for a long time, you've over-cultured, which really isn't a problem, except your poor little microbes, your yeasts and bacteria are probably a little bit hungry because you went too long. No problema. And your beautiful kefir would be chunkier. It would be, you know, thicker. I just say use a wooden spoon. You could even use a whisk. Of course, those are usually made of stainless steel. Get a bamboo whisk. That would be lovely. And whisk it all up. All right. So usually, Josephine, just quickly, usually it's 2 tablespoons of grains. I hope I'm not misspeaking. Let's find it. I'm going to find it for you. I'm going to find it for you. Okay, section 1, 2, 3. Let's look at kefir. All right, what have I got? Making kefir. Yeah, I remembered. Yahoo! Thumbs up from on. Okay, 1 quart of milk, 2 heaping tablespoons of grains, kefir grains, 24 hours. That's the usual at room temperature, which is 68 to 72 Fahrenheit, 20, I think, to 23 Celsius. Hope I'm right. Yeah, that's usual. Now, if that's not working, if it's not turning into kefir in 24 hours with 2 tablespoons of grains, you want either more grains because your grains are not robust enough, or you want to go with less milk. That's how I would do it. I hope that's helpful, Josephine. Okay, Joanna asks, I've been making kefir on and off for several years, pre-gaps, but I leave it on my counter for approximately 2 days. Yes. Is this okay? Seems okay to me, flavor and texture-wise, but does it change anything, change nutritionally if it cultures this long? 2 days is great. Again, I would just check to see, Joanna, do you get to that point where you're seeing whey at the bottom, where it breaks? It's actually breaking. Look at this craziness today. Woo-woo. Let me know. You want to catch it before it goes that long. Okay, they are hard to get out of cream. I know. The little grain guys do not want to get out of the cream. She rinsed with milk. Excellent. Okay. Let's see what else is happening here. Good. Josephine got it. Hey, CB Victoria is with us. Christina is with us. Hooray, hooray. Victorious Valerie wants to know, could you use an overcultured previous batch to make a fresh batch of kefir? Yes, but what would happen, Victorious Valerie? What do you think? What would happen if you overcultured, right? Then your kefir may be a little bit weaker, but it should be fine. And then you catch it the next round, you should be fine. Hello, Fartoon. Okay, here is Lee Henderson. Hello, Lee. In Nourishing Traditions, Sally gives recipes for creme fraiche and Pima cream. Are these allowed on gaps of culture 24 hours? The creme fraiche uses cultured buttermilk. Are you sure it does? I have my book right over there. So I think the creme fraiche uses several things as a starter because I learned that recipe and taught it. The creme fraiche, which is cultured cream, which is Gap's sour cream. It's all the same, folks. Don't get confused. I know that's confusing, right? Cultured cream / Gap sour cream / creme fraiche are all, we're using them interchangeably. They're just cream that's been cultured with bacterial culture, right? It's not cream that's been cultured with yeast. That would make it kefir cream. All right, so if the cultured buttermilk is the starter, yes, you could definitely use that on gaps as long as you cultured it long enough to make sure that the resulting creme fraiche would be lactose-free. That's the point, right, everybody? There is no lactose in the dairy on gaps. That's why people can tolerate it. That's why people who say, oh, I'm lactose intolerant, I can't do gaps, you turn around and say, oh, yes, you can, because there is no lactose on gaps when we do these at home and we do them for a long enough time. Yes. Pima cream, I think, Lee, is just a special kind of starter. I would do it. I would definitely do it. I would go ahead and try and do Pima cream. You have to get a starter from somewhere, and I'm not remembering where. Maybe Scotland or something. I don't know. But culture the cream, baby. Just get in there and culture the cream. Cultured cream, the more the merrier, right? The more different microbes, the merrier. The better off you'll be. The happier your gut's going to be. Mix it up and let us know how it goes. Eh, Lee? Okay. Hi, Roseanne. Okay, awesome, Lee. Thanks. Yeah, cultured buttermilk, yes, you can. Just make sure you go long enough and let us know how it goes. Leonie says, I use a grain about the size of a marble for about half a pint. And it turns sour. No, you're doing great. The size of a marble, like the size of a dime, maybe? Turns sour for about half a pint. So that's about 8 ounces. You probably just have something, a strong kefir grain. The telltale point, everyone, use your eyeballs, is to see if it has started to separate. Boom, you're done. Right? So just watch. Definitely done if it starts separating. So if, Leonie, you're getting it to separate, yes, you said it turns sour and separates, then you should be fine. Should be great. Aw, thanks, Roseanne. So great to see you. Sorry you're late. No problem. Hope you had fun in the mountains. Let's see. I was in the mountains last week. This week I was in Denver. Oy, oy, oy. Okay, Josephine asks, is it okay to blend milk and cream in my kefir? Yes! Love the kefir and yogurt with higher fat. Absolutely. In fact, when I work with clients individually and they're just starting to bring kefir into their diet, I suggest start with kefir cream and then move to milk plus cream, like half and half. That's what we call it. Make kefir with that and then move to kefir with milk. Although my body loves kefir cream, I could eat it all day, every day. All right, let's go up here. Often, yes, to the whey, and that is when I definitely stop, if not sooner. Perfect, Joanna. Okay. Christina asks, same question on kefir as I have way too many grains in there now, so in 8 hours it already separates. That's fine, folks. Remember, in my understanding, when it separates, it's done. So if you've got a lot of grains in there, it's going to separate faster than 24 hours up, right? It will be done faster than 24 hours. You should be fine. Okay. Get back on here. I'm going back up because people put things up. All right, so we got her. Joanna got you. Dawn. So I just made heart for the first time. Okay, I'm going to move you to heart in a minute. Let's finish these other things. All right. Susan says, I read online about doing a second fermentation, so I take the grains out when it's gone clear down to the bottom of the jar after 24 to 48 hours. I stir through a plastic sieve with a wooden spoon, which, if I'm careful, gets enough mild solids off to make a thicker kefir because my husband complained about the bits. Yes, one of the things people like to do is use that sieve to really move the kefir through and makes it silkier, if you mind the bits, if you will. Okay, then I leave the kefir out for another 8 to 12 hours. Do you think it's a good idea? Any risks? I do not think it's a bad idea. I think it's fine to do. Yep, I think it's fine to do. Okay, let's see. Yep, I got to you. Here is Christina. When fermenting yogurt and I put more starter, would it also mean it would ferment faster since more bacteria? Yes, same deal, folks. just remember, the more good guys, good bacteria, or good yeast you put in, whether it's yogurt or kefir, more equals faster fermentation. Yeah. But then you got to wonder, right? Then you're like, I wonder if it's done. I wonder if it's not done. So some people like to just do it the way the recipe says. It says, I use this many for this much milk and tra-la, tra-la. Other people like to kind of mix it up. So see what feels good to you. Right? Okay. All right. Here's Caroline. Caroline, I made the homemade GAPS-approved cream cheese from Becky Plotner's blog that uses, Becky, my friend, that uses a mesophilic culture as a starter. Okay, so just so everybody's clear, GAPS-approved cream cheese is what Dr. Natasha calls cottage cheese. I know we Americans get really confused because it looks nothing like cottage cheese. It looks a lot more like cream cheese. Okay, so any time that you culture cream, whether you culture it with yogurt or you culture it with kefir, or you culture it with a previous batch of yogurt or a previous batch of kefir, and you strain it to get the whey out, you have GAPS-approved sour cream. Pardon me, GAPS-approved cream cheese. Sorry, I messed that up. GAPS-approved cream cheese. Anytime you culture cream with anything long enough to get the lactose out, and then you strain it, you can have GAPS, quote unquote, GAPS-approved cream cheese. Yeah. So Becky uses a mesophilic starter. So mesophilic, I talk about in my book. Most yogurt cultures are thermophilic. That means thermo means heat or warmth. Philic means love. That means they're heat loving. Those are the yogurt cultures that you have to heat up the milk or the cream and get it to about 110 so that they'll actually reproduce. Mesophilic is a culture that does not have to go into, does not need warm milk or warm cream to go into. All right, now that I have the cream cheese, can I use that as a starter to make more cream cheese? No. Well, you can't go from cream cheese to cream cheese, right? Because cream cheese, quote unquote, has had all of the whey strained out, right? So you can use that whey to culture more cream. So when you make cultured cream, I don't know if I'm being clear, you have to go from cultured cream to cream cheese, right? Or cottage cheese, according to Dr. Natasha. So you need to culture cream and then strain out the whey, and then you get quote unquote cream cheese. Okay? You can use, just one more time with feeling for you and everyone else, Caroline and everyone. Don't get hung up on specific recipes about culturing cream to make it GAPS approved. GAPS approved cultured cream is any cream that you've cultured long enough with a culture. So again, that could be with yogurt, which if it's mesophilic, great. Mesophilic culture is great. It could be with kefir, great. It could be with a previous batch, great. Just culture some cream, strain it out. You've got quote unquote GAPS approved cream cheese, if you will. I hope that is really clear. Caroline, yeah? Please let me know if that's clear or if you have follow-up questions. I hope I understood you correctly. Okay, Josephine asks. Okay, we did that already. All right, blah, 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 Roseanne. Da, 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 da. Okay. Okay, hey, Jenna, good to have you. Been a while. Hey, Faria's with us also. All right, so if you have more questions about kefir, let me know. If you have more questions about culturing dairy, let me know. Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to go to the other questions that are not dairy related and answer them. I think Dawn had the first one. Let's look. I'm scrolling. Scrolling. Oh, here's another one. Yes, thank you. I will use the same way. I'll use the whey to make the same kind. I think I like the mild taste. Perfect. Yes, perfect. If you like the taste, go with it. Oh, I think your question did get lost, Tara. Let me go look. Where's Tara? She's out there. She said hello. Ashley, Ida, Dawn, Mia. Yep, hello, Dawn, Barbara. I'm looking for you. I don't see you up here, my dear. Let's see. All right, I'm going back here. Dawn, hold on. I will get to you about your heart question. All right. Bria Lynn says, thank you so much for doing this. Such great information to learn. If you are not yet to dairy, should you try to do a different kind of... No. Do not do a different kind of kefir, folks. I don't know why you would not yet be to dairy, folks, unless you're doing the dairy introduction protocol, in which case you're doing, right? You're doing ghee, then you're doing butter. Then you're doing yogurt because it tends to be milder, and then right into kefir. I actually never suggest water kefir or coconut water kefir. I just don't. Too much sugar, too many issues. I just don't. Okay. Let me see. Okay, can kefir cause heartburn? Ooh. What kefir can do, Tara, is cause die-off. And die-off can be heartburn. Yeah? When we allow the microbes to die off, sometimes people experience that as heartburn. I hope that is helpful. Let me know more if you want. Okay, Susan says, you said you catch the kefir as soon as it starts to separate. Yes. I wondered if it would consume more lactose if I let it until the whole thing, apart from a white layer of the grains, the milk solids, goes clear. That's why I leave it so long. That's why I leave my cultured cream for 36 hours to get rid of as much lactose as possible, but you think it will have less good bacteria and yeasts. So again, Susan, it's kind of a crapshoot, pardon my language. Right? Like, I love go long because then you have less lactose, but will you have more microbes? I'm doing this. I don't know. Why don't I know? Because they're live, they're live little critters and we don't know how much they're eating, and I don't think you have to worry about it. But usually you see it start separating, it's time to put it in the refrigerator. All right. Joanna asks, does cultured dairy ever go bad after being refrigerated? How long would it take? Same for yogurt? Question mark. Smell test and no funky mold growing equals. That's exactly right, Joanna. If you smell it and it smells fine, what's going to happen, everybody? So the only way that cultured dairy goes bad is if it's contaminated. And you'll see that with your eyes. Usually dairy will be pink, but sometimes black. So if it's contaminated, throw it out. It will continue to culture. Both kefir and yogurt will continue to culture over in the refrigerator slowly, but it will continue to culture, which means at some point it's going to go sour, and you're going to be like, bleh, I don't want to eat this. So is that bad? Very different from the putrefying that pasteurized milk can. I didn't say pasteurized cultured dairy products, but just pasteurized milk, right, can putrefy. And that would be very bad for you. But as long as you've cultured it yourself and you've cultured it correctly, I mean, you've done, you know what you're doing, and you've put it in the refrigerator, yeah, it'll just get more and more sour to the point where you'll be like, ooh, it's so sour, I can't handle this. And then maybe toss it. All right. Bria says, we were doing dairy, but we are having lots of symptoms, so we backed off to restart. Excellent. Perfect. Hello, Ayan Mohammed. Hello, Seren. Hello, good to have you. All right. So I'm going to go back to these other non-dairy questions. Let's see. Back to Dawn. Hey, Dawn, where are you? You're way up there. Where? She's still up there. I'm still going. There she is. Whew. Dawn asks, so I just made heart for the first time. Excellent. I don't like it, although it's not as horrible as liver. Shouldn't be horrible at all. Heart is just muscle meat. Shouldn't have a problem with texture or flavor. Very, very mild. I refuse to give up on this, so my question is, if I cut this up in bite-sized pieces and freeze it, take it out and eat a couple ounces a week mixed with sauerkraut and stock, which hides the taste well, will this be enough to truly benefit? Will freezing it destroy a lot of benefits? So the difficulty, the challenge with heart is it's a muscle meat. It's like cutting up steak. Whether it's heart from bison, cow, lamb, pig, certainly chicken, not that big a deal, but all of the mammals. So if you cut it up into bite-sized pieces like we do liver shots and you freeze it, what will happen is that you're putting a very strong challenge to your digestive system because you're not actually chewing it. So what I would suggest, actually, Dawn, is I would suggest to anyone who's having problems with heart to grind it up in a food processor and make it part of meatballs or meatloaf or hamburger, or add it to a blended soup, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I would suggest. Or cut it up very fine and make it into a soup with everything else. It's delicious. In fact, my mouth is watering. All right, and no, freezing will not destroy a lot of the nutritional benefits at all. No problem. All right, Dawn, keep at it, Dawn, keep at it. But as I said, folks, heart should not be problematic in terms of flavor or in terms of texture, because heart is a muscle and we're all used to eating muscle meat. Every time you eat a chicken thigh, it's muscle meat. Every time you eat a chicken drumstick, it's muscle meat. Every time you eat a steak, it's muscle meat. A roast, it's muscle meat. So heart is just another muscle. And it tastes like steak. I suggest people work with it like steak. All right. Christina asks, all right, nope. Got that one, 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 got that one. Woohoo, we are rocking and rolling. All right, let's see what else. All right. Da, 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 da. Oh, Faria asks, hello. What are the signs of dehydration and how do we support the body while on intro and experiencing dehydration? Okay, let's all have some water now. First sign of dehydration, a dry mouth. If at any time during the day the inside of your mouth feels dry to you, you are dehydrated. So drink more water. Another is, frankly, stinky breath. Often you can, unless there's infection in the mouth or there are cavities or whatever, but sometimes people that don't drink enough water have very, very kind of sweet smelling, stinky breath. Other signs of dehydration, golly gee willikers, not going to the bathroom enough, urinating, not urinating enough. Your urine is dark, dark, dark yellow. That means that you're not having enough water, you're dehydrated. Your urine may really smell. That's another sign of dehydration. You're constipated. That's another sign of dehydration. You're passing little nuggets. You're coming little balls of little ping pong balls is what you're passing. Difficulty having a bowel movement. Those are all signs of dehydration. I suggest a couple things. One, you should not be dehydrated on intro because you're drinking meat stock all day, or I hope you are. And if you're not up to drinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cups of meat stock a day with good salt in it, because it's too much die-off, then you need to be drinking pure water that has been filtered. It's either spring water or water that's been filtered. This is so funny. I'm putting it over there. Water that's been filtered and then remineralized. So also juicing. Green juices especially can give you the amount of minerals you need so you're not dehydrated. So I'm hoping you're not dehydrated on intro. There's no reason to be. You're drinking, again, meat stock every day, all day. You're drinking cabbage tonic. You're drinking beet kvass. You're drinking vegetable medley. You're using good salt. All those things will help to keep you hydrated, for sure. Hope that's helpful. All right, la 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 la. Okay. All right, Christina wants to know, if my baby has issues detoxing, I suspect that, what can I do to help with that? I would go straight to the Blue Book to detoxification. I would go straight to the Blue Book for detoxification. Let's see where it is. And I would try all of them for your baby. La, 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 la. Remember that the GAPS nutritional protocol is what you eat and don't eat, plus a detoxification arm. So it's on page 346. It goes 346 to 372. It's very, very long. Lots and lots and lots on detoxification in here. So I would look at that, and the first thing I would do for everyone that's a GAPS person is look at total load. And what total load means is take out all chemicals from the house, right? All chemical laundry detergents, all chemical dish detergents, all chemical body products, all chemical stuff outgassing from rugs and from everything else, paint, etc., etc. I would cut down on Wi-Fi and EMFs. And then I would do all the things that Dr. Natasha talks about in terms of how to supporting the detoxification system. So it's okay. Most GAPsters have a broken or challenged detox system, and we just have to work the diet. Lots of fat. Detox baths. I did a whole Facebook Live on the 5 detox baths. You can look at that. Enemas. Enemas are fine for even babies. She's got which age and which one to do and all those good things. Yeah. Reducing exposure to chemicals and juicing, all those things. Yep. Christina, what I would say is that most people that are on GAPS, most people that need GAPS are challenged in their detox pathways. And so when you follow the recommended things to do for the detox pathways, then it's just a good idea to do those things, and healing will happen faster. All right. Okay, Dana. Hey, Dana, what's up? Good to have you with us, Dana. Hi, Monica. Apologies, not a dairy-related question. No problem. Would you recommend advanced TRS for a child who's been on GAPS for over 2 years? You're going to have to tell me what TRS is. Dana, throw it in there. Spell it out. It's cooked and I would chew it. Okay, Dawn says, I do not. I would not put cooked heart into the freezer, Dawn. I would put raw heart into the freezer. Does not taste like steak completely to me, but it has a bit of weirdness. You'll get used to it. Just throw it in a crock pot with a bunch of other stuff. Yes, Victorious Valerie says headaches can also be a sign of dehydration. Absolutely. I have found that sometimes when I drink more water, my headaches subside. Yes, thanks for that, Valerie. Okay. Bria Lynn says, doing no plant GAPS. Yes. And my daughters have awful acetone breath. I'm assuming it's from ketones. But is that dehydration related as well? Should I be concerned? I wouldn't be. Well, I don't want anybody stressing out about anything. I don't want you worrying about anything. I would just make sure that your sweet daughters are drinking enough water that has been remineralized, right, folks? So make sure that you have minerals in the water. Either drink spring water or filter your water and then add minerals to it. That's my thought. I wouldn't be, that's what I would do. Just make sure they're drinking enough water too, doing no plant GAPS. And rock and roll, they're very lucky to have you. All right. Jody wants to know, how do you remineralize water? One easy way is to take some of your really good salts, so Baja Gold salt or Celtic Gray salt or Redmond's Real Salt. A good salt. If you have a question about what a good salt is, please watch my Ask the Gap Chef video on my YouTube channel, Monica Corrado. I talk all about the salts, which ones to use, how to find a good salt regardless of the label, blah, 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 all that stuff. So you can just take a little bit of salt and throw it in your water and off you go. That's mineralized. You can make a Soleil, S-O-L-E, with an accent, which is taking a big chunk of beautiful salt and then letting it dissolve into the water and then using some of that. You can use, I use Soleil drops that Baja Gold gives you to remineralize my salt. Yay, Veronica's here, hooray! All right, Josephine asks, do you know, and again, quickly, everybody, check out my YouTube channel because there are a lot of videos there that I'm trying to put in the title, what we're talking about. You only have to watch the first 15 to 20 minutes, usually. Today I went a little longer, so that you can get the teaching. Always welcome to watch the whole hour if you like. What else can I tell you? Also, jump on my website, simplybeingwell.com, because I have under resources salts. Why would remineralized water cause behavior issues in my kids? If we use Celtic salt for remineralization, maybe, Bria, you're just putting too much in. Back it off. I actually don't believe that. This is the word according to Monica. I don't believe pink Himalayan salt is worth its weight in salt. Did y'all get that? Sorry. Unless it tells you the number, the different, like it lists which minerals are in it, and it tells you how many minerals and the percentage of minerals in the salt, folks. Celtic salt is very, very high in minerals, and it may be that you're just putting too much in. So back it off and see if it helps. Everyone, I know I'm not God, but everyone is depleted in minerals, and minerals are absolutely critical for all functions in the body. So we should all be using a good salt, and we should be using enough. Yep. So urination accidents would be die-off, or could be die-off. How much salt are we talking here? For a quart of water, you're usually just doing a little pinch, bink. Or I usually do 2 to 3 drops of the Soleil from Baja Gold. It's a little dropper bottle per quart. However, I also, 1, filter my water, 2, structure my water with an analemma wand, Dr. Tom Cowan, and number 3, then I mineralize. So I don't use a lot of minerals because structured water needs less. Yeah. Do you really need salt in the water if there's plenty on the food? Really depends. Depends on the person. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Ria, it's going to really depend on which salt you're using about how much you need. Yay, Dana says, I came across it through a GAPS group. I have read about it as much as I could. The people say, selling this say it's the purest zeolite on earth. Probably not. Standard Process has a wonderful one, zeolite called GI Adsorb, not Absorb, Adsorb. It's supposed to remove the toxic metals out of the body. My daughter's homeopath shows she is showing metal toxicity. Most Gapsters are showing metal toxicity, everyone. I'm fairly confused and want to be 100% certain this will be okay for my daughter. Well, you can't be 100% certain. You have to listen to your gut, pardon that pun, and feel it out. Does it feel like a good move for you once you've done all your research? Does it feel like a good move? If it does, do it. If it doesn't, don't do it. You have to be congruent with your decisions. We have seen huge gains from gaps, but still cannot have dairy, and there's quite a few niggling issues remaining. So, I don't know, the way you put that in there, Dana, I'm looking, and then we're going to have to close because I have some clients next. Let's see, Dana, I'm looking for Dana. Dana, where are you? Was the question? All right. Advanced TRS for a child who's been on GAPS for over 2 years. I probably need more information, Dana. Here's the deal. Zeolite, Z-E-O-L-I-T-E, zeolite, everyone, is a molecule that can be, I'm going to do this quickly and then we're going to be done. Zeolite acts as a cage, and it takes out heavy metal molecules from the body and takes them out of the body. At least that's what it's supposed to do. There's a lot of good information on this. Dr. Tom Cowan did something on zeolite. Look at his blogs and or videos. Must have been at least a year ago. Dr. D-R-T-O-M Cowan, C-O-W-A-N.com. I would look at what he has to say. Zeolite acts as a cage for heavy metals and takes it out of the body. It works either at the cellular level or it works in the gut. 2 different sizes of zeolite, everybody. So the jury's kind of out among GAPS practitioners from what I can tell. Certainly Dr. Natasha doesn't say, go do zeolite. And there are other colleagues of mine who are certified GAPS practitioners who are like, yeah, I haven't seen any real results. Very prominent GAPS practitioners, if people are getting my drift. So, you know, Dana, as with everything else, I would suggest that you do your research. I would suggest that you do research across with multiple sources. And then I would suggest that you make your best call. Meaning, you got to feel really good about doing this or don't do it. Just like every other thing, folks. You either feel really good about it, yes. If it's not a yes, it's a no. Everything in your life. If it's not a yes, it's a no. Has to be an enthusiastic, yes, I'm doing this. I'm on board. I know it's going to be great. Yes, that's the deal. So I would do my research and I would then make your decision. I want to let you know, Dana, that I've never heard of any, I haven't heard yet of any detriments to doing zeolite or taking zeolite. I haven't heard, but it may be too soon to have it. But I really haven't heard any problems with taking zeolite. So looks like it's fairly benign, or it is benign, and it could either help or be neutral. That's my best call on that. Hope that's helpful. All right. Quickly here, Susan had, what is your opinion of adding something into the kefir during a second ferment, grains removed? People say citrus rind, cinnamon stick gives it a smoother, sweeter texture. So, I don't know. I'm kind of a purist, Susan. I always have been. Things like citrus rind, very high in rutin, very good. Essential oils could be antimicrobial. Cinnamon can be antimicrobial. I don't know. Maybe do it with some and see how you feel. That's what I would do. I say things like put berries in it instead, blueberries, instead of those types of things. All right, this is the last question. Do you know if it's common to get too high blood count during GAPS? I had good levels before, but now it's too high. I must decrease meat and liver. Yes, this is a medical question. I'm not a medical doctor, folks, and I can't really tell you medical things. I also forgot to do my disclaimer, which is I'm not a medical doctor. I can't talk about healing, and the FDA doesn't agree with anything I'm about to say, nor has it approved it. All right. I don't know about that, Josephine, specifically, but I do know that lots of things go crazy or can go crazy when people are doing GAPS because we're peeling away the layers, right? And we don't know what the body's going to do with all these nutrients that it hasn't had for a very long time. So often things will, either people will lose a lot of weight at the beginning and then they'll put appropriate weight back on, or people's blood. All sorts of things go a little wacko, but then come back online as long as you are doing the diet the way it's meant to be done and you're listening to your body as you proceed. Yeah, that's all I've really got, Josephine. I hope that's helpful. All right, everybody. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la. I think we're done. Wow. You're welcome, Susan. Hello, Eva. Good to have you. You're welcome, Dana. Yep. I do not know how to access standard process. I know. From the UK. I don't think you can, sadly. Hello, Leslie. All right. Veronica asked, last question. I have done kefir like I used to, but it was 24 hours after. It was still like milk. Was it maybe because now it's about 5 degrees less? Yes. Could be. If it's not culturing, folks, either add more grains or leave it longer. No problem. Just get it to a good thickness and a good taste, a little bit sour, a little bit tart, and off you go, right? All right, folks, we went late today, but that's okay. Hello, Umu. Hello, hello, hello. All right. Be well. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Thank you for the food and for the techniques and for all the healing that comes from the food. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Blessings to you for the autumn equinox that happens Wednesday night, Thursday. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you same gaps time, same gaps channel next week, Tuesday. Okay. Be well, everyone. Bye now.